take off enough. Or maybe it's not sexual. Maybe they get on your nerves enough. They get in your face enough. They keep asking you for money enough. And eventually your calm, meek demeanor transforms because the temptation came over and over. So what we then need is not a list of do's and don'ts. What we need is God's grace. We need a measure of grace. We need a measure of grace. Is there anybody other than me who knows without a shadow of a doubt that you need God's grace? I mean, you done messed things up. You made some mistakes. You went too far and you needed God to give you grace. You needed grace. You needed grace. And if that's you, I came with good news for you tonight. God sent Jesus as a sacrifice to buy us some grace. He gives us the grace that we need to go on so we can start all over again. Look at your neighbor and say, if you need to, you can start all over again. You can start, if you need to tonight, you can start all over again. You can begin to walk in righteousness because God was saying, I love you just that much. This is the I Love series, isn't it? God sent Jesus Christ to say, baby, I love you just this much. I love you enough to climb a hill while they beat me on my back. I love you that much. I love you enough to let them stab me when I'm God and I don't have to let them do anything. I love you that much. I love you enough to let them hang me high and stretch me wide and I'm the king, but then they're not even giving me anything to drink that is worthy of my kingliness. But I love you just that much. How much have we given to people who did not love us that much? We go out of our way for some people that don't love us nearly that much. You put up with some people that didn't love you enough to buy you dinner, that didn't love you enough to even go past going Dutch, but God went all the way just for you to tell you I love you just that much. And so he's saying, if you need grace, I love you enough to give it to you. He loves us just that much to give us a new beginning. So we don't have to make the same kind of mistakes. We don't have to keep beating ourselves up about the mistakes that we made in the past. Because when you walked in here tonight, you stumbled into a Sinners Anonymous meeting where every single one of us is a recovering sinner in recovery. Come on now. Don't act like nothing. You might well stand up saying it. My name is Jessie Jennings and I was a sinneraholic. Now, come on now. We all need grace. Because there's no room for us to look down on anybody else. Because when we recognize that if it had not been for the grace of God on our side, we don't know where we would be. The person sitting next to you wouldn't recognize you if you didn't have the grace. You wouldn't look the same. You wouldn't talk the same. You wouldn't act the same if you didn't have the grace. And it's amazing, though, how sometimes people can look at other people and say, how in the world can they show their face up in here? How can they do it? You don't want to know why? Because they're walking in the grace. How in the world can they still have a purpose on their life? You know what they did? You want to know why? They can lift their head because they're walking in the grace. And we've got to get to the point where we tell people, I know you know my past. But that's just proof of God's power because he had to be a God of all might and power if he could extend to me enough grace to cover over all of the mess, all of the stuff that they don't know you did. He had the strength and power to cover all of it. And so he had to be a good God. He had to be a good God to have the loving kindness about you, to love you that much, to cover over all that stuff. I'm talking about over all the sneaking. You ain't never snuck nowhere? Over all the sneaking, over all the time you parked your car somewhere else so nobody would see, over all the sneaking and over all the secrets, God still found a way to give you some grace. Don't act like you've never been sneaking. Victoria ain't the only one with some secrets. All of us have been caught in some places, done some things that we're not deserving of God's glory, but he still covers us with grace. Thank you so much for watching. I trust that something was said that will help you to be inspired and encouraged and motivated to begin a new life starting right now. And if something helped you today in this clip, definitely feel free to share the link with the button share listed right below, and subscribe to the channel. I'm posting videos each and every week on what I love to call Motivational Mondays to help you to enjoy new life. And remember, you don't have to wait until later to begin a new life. Your new life can start right now. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you again.